I am here with Jeff Wisdo. He wrote 38,000 in final expense production on our free lead telesales division last month in April. And we're here to interview him to learn more about how he did it, what a day in the life is like for a telesales agent, and to just kind of go over some basics about how the business of telesales is like. So, Jeff, welcome. How you doing today?
Great. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks for taking time out of your day to do this. So, tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you get into the final expense business?
For me, it was I stumbled over it. Pandemic hit. I lost my gig. I needed to make money. I fought it. I didn't want to do it. Okay. Um, as a matter of fact, I worked for a big company everyone knows. I don't know if I could say their name or not. I worked for SelectQuote. That's where I started. Great place
Okay.
for me to start at least. Um, and they sent me a computer and it sat there. I had training on Monday. It sat next to my desk here until Sunday night when I said, okay, I got to do this. Didn't want to do it. And I got into it and I found out that I'm pretty good at this. So I started SelectQuote. That was 3+ years ago. I was in a class of 80 people in a training class. By the time I left 6 months later, I think there was 3 or 4 of us left.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was the number one agent coming out of the box with them for the first 3 or 4 months that I was there, and it was fine. It was great. But like anybody who knows who's done this, um, there was no real commission base there. I mean, there was a little bit. I don't want to say like there was nothing, but then I moved on to another place that just recently closed down here, like in the last week, and that got a little bit better. And then I moved to another place that got a little bit better, and I'm here. This is my fourth place. Each time it keeps getting a little better for me.
Good. Yeah, I hope so.
In my aspect, I was buying leads in the last place.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I was buying leads. So I worked at a different. It was a smaller group. It was a free leads program. It was inbound calls. So I did that for about a year almost, and they offered up. They started doing buy your own leads,
Right.
and I started buying my own leads. And the things that you say are true. You have a bad week or two, you start getting a little concerned, and it's a cash flow thing, and it becomes And so when it came time to leave there, I want to get back to doing some free leads. I didn't want to stay at that place for a variety of reasons, and you guys allowed me to come over.
Awesome. Yeah, this is fascinating. I didn't know you were buying leads. So you've seen both sides of the coin, right? Like right now you're getting free leads from us, but you were buying leads and you also were working inbound leads at some point too. So I'd like to go down that route a little bit if you don't mind.
Sure.
Um,
This is my first outbound experience.
is it really? Wow.
Yes.
Okay, so let's start there because I think if you're a neophyte agent, I mean, maybe if you're an experienced agent, it's like, man, if I could just sit around in my underwear and wait for people to call me, that would be the greatest thing, right? So this is what we call inbound leads for those of you who are brand new. The calls come to you, they're transferred, or somebody calls off of a television commercial. Whereas what we do at the Dig Agency is strictly outbound. You're dialing outbound leads. You've got a stack of leads. Your job is to dial to get people on the phone and close them. That's how we start our agents off for the most part. What's been the kind of pros and cons of both, if you can kind of explain that?
So for people who've done this, I'll talk to for maybe it's more of an experienced agent. An inbound lead is only as good as the inbound lead source that it comes from. Okay.
Yeah.
There are some inbound leads that were coming in from overseas that the people didn't even know why they were on the phone. They're like, wait, why am I talking to you? Not a great lead to try to sell insurance to when somebody has no idea why they're on the phone. Some of the other inbound leads were good. I mean, a TV lead is a good lead. No matter what you say, it's a great lead. Um, and then we had the in-betweeners, which were people who kind of raised their hand at one point in time. We either had appointment setters that were calling in to um, get them to us and they would do a live transfer, or it would be somebody who saw something and decided to call in, but what they thought they were calling in for sometimes didn't match what we did.
Okay.
Like I was calling for, just to give you an example, I was calling for that free food card,
Yeah.
or I was calling for that $40,000 of free insurance from the state. So a different experience.
Right.
But a lead is a lead is a lead. You got to talk to people and get them where they need to go. So it is what it is. Now over here with the outbound lead, at least from what we're doing, is everyone has raised their hand to some degree or another. Now, some people will deny they raised their hand when you get on the phone with them and say, oh, "I didn't push on that," but okay, I didn't pick up a phone book and just call you out of the blue. I mean, it came to me, but at the same time, it is what it is. You got to talk to people; they're all somewhat interested when you start talking to them, and really you get the first 10 or 15 seconds. If you can build a little bit of platform right there, they'll give you another 20 or 30, and then it just builds upon itself.
Do you feel there's a sense of security in having an outbound driven approach to making sales versus waiting on the possibility of inbounds coming in?
Yeah, because I mean, with the dig agency here, we have the old leads and we have new leads. And I think from talking to Tim, half of our business comes from those old leads.
Yeah.
You just gotta sit there and work. You just gotta sit there. The Kixie dialer is phenomenal. You just sit back and you dial, and people pick up. They don't pick up. People see you call. They call you back. You just gotta start a conversation and talk to people. Now, I will say I'm on the appointment team over there. So one of the great things about being on the appointment team here is, in, in my view, and I've told some of the guys here, some of the younger kids, because I'm a bit older than most of the guys here. Okay, but I told some of the kids, those appointment leads are like TV leads. These people are like, they made the appointment, they're looking to talk to somebody, they're a great lead to go after and just handling them. So um, you're the master of your own destiny here. There's enough leads there. If you're willing to put in the time and work, you're going to do it. Where the inbound, yeah, it depends on where you are and how many states you're licensed and all this kind of stuff. Select quote, there were times when I would wait 20 minutes for a call. You're just sitting there waiting. But the part with an inbound lead that really stinks, and I'll say this depending where you are, is if the systems go down at that particular carrier. You
Mm,
know, I want to work for a day or two. Well, the systems went down. I mean, I want to work. Well, the system's down today, or our lead vendor went down, or our lead vendor got mad at us and they stopped sending us leads because we weren't answering enough of their calls, or whatever it is.
right.
You know, you're at the whim of somebody else to provide you a lead versus here, they're in front of you. You just go and you work it.
Yeah, you bring up some good points. You know, that preset appointment system that we have, that is something that I would call our top 10% of the agents have access to. It's almost like a buy invite only type of arrangement. And it's really based off of meritocracy. If you're a high producing agent, what we do is we have basically for all the leads that we buy, the presets go to those top 10 percenters. And those are the people who are making 35, 40,000 plus a month in production, that we want to put them there, right? Because they've earned the ability and right to be at those high levels. And yeah, I mean, for me, the big thing, on these outbounds, Jeff, is you have control of your destiny, right? You know, you're not at the whim of somebody else. And I think that's a big thing. And I always push this too, especially for the people getting started in sales. And, look, if you can get good at picking up the phone and dialing and getting through the first 30 seconds, like, you're never going to go hungry. You don't ever have to sit around and wait to make a sale because you have the initiative and the ability to make it happen.
And the reality is, selling insurance over the phone is not for everybody. Okay. It is, if you're going to get your feelings hurt, if you don't have thick skin, this probably isn't a good place for you. This type of environment. Um, but you can make a lot of money um selling insurance over the phone in your underwear in your basement, like kind of like I am. I'm in my basement. This is where I work.
Are you in
Um,
your underwear though?
no, I'm not in my underwear today. I had to wear a shirt today because you're here. Um, but you know, I've had the blessing. I mean, I have some education behind me. I make more money working in my basement selling insurance than I did as a professional. I want to say professional, but as things I did in that
Yeah.
past life there. And um it's, and like I said earlier with Select Quote, I started with 80 people. By the time I left 6 months later, it was like 3 or 4 of us left.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't want to put in the work, don't do it. If you're not going to work on your skills, if you just think you're going to come in here and you're going to do great, don't do it. I've seen a lot of healthcare, Medicare people come over and thinking this is more customer service.
No,
This is not customer service. This is sales. You
no
got to
sales.
sell.
Yeah. Yeah. And we don't keep everybody either. I mean, we judiciously remove agents that don't perform, that aren't prepped for this, because it isn't for everybody. The people that say it, anybody can be successful at this. This isn't Bob Ross and painting, this is
I,
this is
I've
sales.
seen I've seen a lot of really nice people, a lot of really great people who just can't do it. You
Right.
know, it's
Yeah.
not that they're bad. They don't have whatever that is. I don't know what that is. I think you would love to know what that is because that would
I'd be retired
make
already.
it easier.
Right. It's actively what we're trying to find, that stuff, whatever it is.
Yeah. I,
Um, we talked earlier about, let's talk about the bad side. Uh, don't hold back.
well,
What sucks about telesales or free leads or working with us?
working with you, I mean, honestly, I've only been here. This is week 6 or week 7 for me. I'm closing at 15%,
Oh man,
making
that's
good
awesome.
money. Um, it's great. I mean, what sucks, I wish you'd give me more money.
Yeah.
I mean, that's isn't that what everyone says, right?
Yeah.
Um, that doesn't suck though. I mean, just in the business, chargebacks aren't real great.
Right.
You get um, you know, you get disappointed with certain things that happen, and it's nothing that you can control. It's just the way it is. Um, you know, if I thought it sucked, I wouldn't do it, to be honest with you. I
Yeah.
mean, life is too short to go do something you don't enjoy doing.
Yeah, but
Um,
you agreed though, like, and I think this is an important lesson too for anybody starting. I mean, all businesses have good things and bad things about them, right?
yeah, absolutely. And and as a new agent coming in here, I came in as a new agent here, but I've done this before.
Mhm. Right.
So I knew that when I came in here, and I told this to Marty. If you guys come in here, you get to meet Marty, and I told Tim this, like, listen, just get out of my way. Let me do my thing. I'll be just fine. And but you don't have that trust or that faith. And in 6 weeks, I moved from just starting out and getting thrown a couple leads to now I'm on the appointment team, and I'm able to produce and make money, and I'm doing pretty darn good here. So if you're good at what you do, you'll do great. But Tim will work with you. There's a lot of training here. You can do it. But if you're not willing to work, if you're not willing to put in the time, this is not like a place where they just give you money for showing up. It doesn't
Right.
happen.
Right.
Not
Yeah,
gonna
it's
work.
work. It's tough work too. It's
Yeah.
time consuming. You got to give it your full attention. You can't slow down. I mean, that's the nature of this business. You can't half-ass it, you know.
Yeah. And to me, the key for me is I like to have fun on the phones. I'm always trying to make people laugh. I'm joking around. I'm having a good time. Because if I'm not having a good time, then it's work. If I'm having a good time, it's just talking to people and having a good old time. So for me, that's what makes it easier for me to go. And I think when you can make people laugh. So one of the lessons I learned from one of my old mentors here, old sales manager at the last place I was, is be different than everyone else.
Yeah.
So this is me. Doesn't necessarily mean it's you. It's me. So when I'm on the phone, I'm not coming in all uptight and being all professional and trying. That's not who I am at all. I'm coming in trying to have a good time, trying to get somebody to laugh in the first 30, 60 seconds of the,
Yeah.
because then that puts their guard down. This is my little own theory that whenever you get on the phone with somebody, whether it's an inbound lead or an outbound lead, and I equate it like they're almost like these old, you guys call them Mildred's herd. I've never heard that before. Mildred's, you know, everyone comes up and they have their fists up. They're ready to fight. They're ready to fight you almost everything. If you get them just to laugh a little bit, they relax a little bit. They put their hands down. They start opening their ears and start listening to you.
Right.
So
Right.
that's my goal. I am sorry, Dave. I'm not professional. I'm having a good time. I'm
You're
joking.
effective. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I'm joking. I'm having a good time with people. There's a time to be serious.
Yeah.
There is a time to have those serious conversations. It's not in the first minute or two of a phone call.
But do you feel like, even though, and I get what you're saying, like you have your own character that you get it,
Yes.
it's you, right? But does that mean you're not following a script? I mean, are you just kind of at the hem of your
No, I
pants?
have a script. I
Okay.
definitely have a I have a script. I mean, my first 30 seconds of my call, whether are all the same. It is what it is. I start asking my questions, and then it kind of will deviate, but I have a path, and there's little branches on that path depending on what's being said to you, of course. You know, Um, if somebody sits there and for instance they tell you, hey, my spouse just died, he didn't have any insurance. Well, maybe you need to be a little empathetic and have a little conversation, say
Yeah.
I'm sorry, as opposed to being like, well, how much insurance do you need? Well, slow down here. Let's acknowledge that their spouse of 50 years just died, and that's sad, and we're sorry to hear that. And
So
so
you're following the script, but you're also thinking on your feet and reading and reacting. It's kind of a both thing, both
yeah,
and.
absolutely. I'm having a conversation, and a conversation can't be had if you're just reading a script. A conversation has when you actually use your ears to listen to what they're saying.
Why God gave us two ears and one mouth, right? So
Yes, the whole goal. I know I'm doing well on a call when the person on the other side is talking more than I'm talking.
right. Yes. Yes. That's right.
I'm sure you've heard that before. Now, we don't want to talk about the weather or the Philadelphia Eagles or politics, but we want to talk about what we're trying to talk about here.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
Well, Jeff, congratulations on your big month, 38,000 plus in AP in April, and our free lead sales division on telesales. If you
yeah,
guys watching this are interested in learning more, it's very simple. Just go to my website, davidduford.com. The link should be below, and watch the overview video if you want to learn more about the Dig Agency. Maybe this is your first time watching this. As well as learning about how our free lead programs work. We do agents face-to-face or telesales. Most agents are telesales now. Probably 90% of our applications are for the telesales side. You can buy your own leads. You can get leads for free. We're heavy, heavy, heavy on training and support and really teaching you how to sell successfully. We don't mass recruit people to recruit. We're not an MLM at all. Again, please go to davidduford.com to learn more. And Jeff, thank you.
thank you.